It's a Friday. Winter won't end. Kyle, Dan, and a special guest, a man that we brought in because he's going to bring sunshine. He's in Arizona, Eric Gagne. Tell us what the sun's like. We haven't seen it in weeks.
Well, look at my face. It's a little red right now. It's a lot of golf. It's amazing, guys. I don't want to dig in too much, but it's beautiful right now.
So we're starting with sad news. Chuck Norris passed away. In your playing time, did you ever play for a team where you had a Chuck Norris night? Did he ever come into one of your locker rooms?
I think he came to LA a couple times. I think they've seen him at Dodger Stadium a couple times. I've never had a chance the honor to meet him, but yeah, it's a sad day for that. Very bad day. It's a very unfortunate, but 86 years old. He's left us. He's left an amazing impact on all of us. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I don't mean to correct you there, Eric, but I'm pretty sure LA traveled to Chuck Norris, or that's how the legend goes.
That's right.
But speaking of the LA Dodgers, have the Toronto Blue Jays, in your opinion, done enough to bolster their rotation and their pitching staff in order to take another run at the mega team?
I think so. I mean, it's they have a good depth. They got Scherzer back there. So when you have that guy in the bullpen, or not in the bullpen, in the clubhouse, it's always a plus because he can actually really help the young guys. And now they have some. They're seasoned veterans now. They have no excuse saying they're young. They've built that team from the last 5 years. You could tell like they've really grown together. I think you never have too much pitching. You understand that there's always injuries here and there, but I think their starters are pretty deep. I like what they can give a lot of innings. It's almost like an old school rotation. I think it's going to be impressive to. It's going to be fun to watch because it's they've grown together. You got the Scherzer effect there. That's going to be a big factor to have in there. So it's going to be interesting to watch.
How was it watching the Blue Jays? Their improbable World Series run last year.
It was fun. I mean, for me as a Canadian, it was hard. Canada, and the Dodgers is kind of stuck in the middle. But I think what they've done, just for the fact that they got there and they played against the Dodgers, the impact they have, and I think for baseball Canada, and it's impressive. It's fun to watch them play because they play hard, and I don't think it was improbable because we've all thought the last couple of years that it was their window to win with all the players they've had and all the great superstar. I thought it was fun to watch, but. I wasn't sad that they lost, but I was kind of stuck in the middle. But it was beautiful.
It was a win-win.
It's really good. It was
a win-win for you. Whoever won, you would have been happy.
That's right. It's just good for the game. It's fun to see a Canadian team against the big bad Dodgers, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
Eric, the role of a true closer, a power arm like yourself back in your playing day, or even now, it hasn't really changed that much over the years. But what's changed so much is what happens between the starter and the closer. The starters don't go as long anymore, and there's just more happening to get to the last guy in the bullpen, someone like yourself. How do you think that's influenced the strategy? What's changed from your point of view in the game? From the manager's perspective and using his pitching staff?
Well, first of all, with the extra innings just change a little bit, so you utilize your closer differently. Of course, you need a lot more arms now in the bullpen. There's like you said, the starters don't go as long, but I think with the rotation they have this year, I think they understand the value of going 6 or 7 innings. That's huge, especially on your bullpen to relieve the stress of your bullpen and make sure you don't overexpose them. We all know that relievers, I don't want to say we're fail starters anymore, but it's, the more you see a reliever, the more chances the hitters get. So I think, with a guy like Scherzer, a guy like Berrios, and all these guys that can go deep in the game, that's going to really help without exposing your youth. I mean, the guys in the middle, the 6th, 7th, 8th inning guys, they're all not always the best assets in the back end of the bullpen. But if you can just make sure that you go 5 or 6 innings every single game, I think that's going to really help not expose your, I don't want to say weaknesses, but not expose your arms that you wouldn't use all the time. So just having a closer in there that is going to be solid, a guy that you can trust and really put him out there every single time there's a safe situation. It's going to be interesting. But the game has changed a lot. I mean, it's still the same game. You still got to get 3 outs to get your save. It's very high level situation. But I think the only big difference I see is, like you said, there's not a lot of guys going 7 innings, so it gives a little more. You have a lot more appearance, so you expose your closers a little more. But I think those gap innings, the 6th, 7th innings are big, and I think it's going to be a interesting it's an interesting year to see how they react, because I think when you have your closer, it's great, but you need your setup man. You need your right ear lefty specialist in there. It's not like it used to be, but they still need to go out there and at least get three guys out, face three guys. So it's a little bit of difference, but as a manager, I think Schneider has done his job very well. They know their roles, they know what they need to do out there, and they're a fun team to watch. I mean, they play together, and I think they understand what they need to do to win.
Give us the mindset of a closer, because it's like a goalie in hockey. If you let in a bad goal and you guys lose, all eyes are on you, while everyone else can kind of hide in the weeds. So if you come into a game and it doesn't go well, everyone's pointing to you. That mindset is something I can never wrap my head around, because you are the hero, you are the villain, you are the reason they lost. You're all in one ball.
Yep, you're in charge of everybody's good mood or bad mood the next morning when they drive to work. It's not easy, but I think it's, we get all the, if you succeed, you're a hero. If you don't, you're going to be, your finger's going to be pointed at you. But I think that's when the team comes into play, and that's what I think I really believe in this bullpen, because I think they understand that it's not just about you. For me, as a closer, you don't think about the situation being stressful. You don't think about that. You just think about executing your pitches, because your teammates, played really hard in front of you for 7-8 innings. So you're just trying to preserve a win. But it is hard. I think it's, especially with it, I don't want to say he's young, but a guy that hasn't done it for 10, 12 years, he can't be affected by a blown save. You got to go out there and really, okay, this is my job. I got to come back every single day. That's one good thing about a closer. You have a chance to close a game every single day. So I think just really stay locked in. Don't be too emotional about one bad game. Don't make it become a bad month. And I think that's what Hoffman's going to have to do. I mean, he's a great talent. The consistency is going to be everything, because everybody knows that if you lose in the ninth inning, it hurts a little bit more. So I think for him, just to stay consistent, just don't take it too hard on you. Don't be too hard on yourself when you do blow a save, because it's going to happen. It's a matter of time. Just focus on the team, and I think that's what they've built so much. I think their relationship with the team is very impressive, and that's what I like the most. They've lost Bichette, but I think the nucleus of this team and with the manager, they've grown together, and we've all second guessed Schneider on certain moves he's done in the past, but you can tell they grew together. You can tell last year that he trusts his players, they trust him, and I think the relationship they have with each other, it's very impressive. And I think, as a closer, that's what you want. You want to be trusted in this situation. You want to know that if you failed, it's okay. We're going to be trusting you, and the next time you have a chance to save a game. So I think they've established that. You're going to see a lot of benefits from those guys.
You mentioned Bo Bichette. The Jays lost a two-time All-Star and one of the best offensive players in the American League over the last few seasons this offseason. Do you recall a time in your playing days when you guys lost such a core piece of a roster, and how did it affect the clubhouse?
It's especially for those guys, they've grown together. I mean, they're friends, you could tell they're very good friends. They play together for a long time. It's going to be hard, and you can't just replace it. I think it's going to be an adjustment. So whoever comes in, it's going to be a bunch of guys trying to compensate for the, I don't want to say the lack of offense, but it's going to be a big piece to replace. But I think they understand what they need to do. It's not like, that's the beauty of baseball. Like, you take one guy out, you can actually have a young kid coming up, give another chance to someone else. Someone else is going to take responsibilities, is going to become a leader. But it's going to be hard. I mean, we lost Gary Sheffield one time. It's a big hole, but we've had a better year after. So it all depends on how they play. It's going to be interesting to see how it's all about pitching and defense. And I think if they have that, they're going to be they're going to be fine. I think it always hurts when you see a big name like that leave, but I think, you got Vladdy there that is very respected. They got the nucleus of players that we talked about earlier that they understand what it takes to win, and I think they're going to be all hands on deck.
Watching baseball, playing baseball, it's been a part of your entire life. So you have seen the roller coaster of, baseball's back, into yet no one cares about baseball. And now we're at the peak again where people are back into baseball. It's almost, it must be like a broken record because you've seen it so many times.
Yeah, I mean, baseball's a beautiful game. Of course, like, in Canada, it's a little different. You got hockey to dominate everything, but especially with the Toronto Blue Jays, the last 10 years has been very successful. I mean, you can tell the popularity just in my province in Quebec. I mean, there's a lot more players, and I think what what Russell Martin was able to do with the Toronto Blue Jays and the Batistas of the world, and they've done a very good job. I think the front office and ownership, they spend the money. They're not afraid to hold on to their players. They sign big names, and it's not easy on that market. I mean, the Canadian dollar has a big effect on what you do on the free agent market. So, no, it's fun to watch because it's Canada. You don't have exactly the fan base that you would have in LA or New York, but I think it's pretty impressive what they've done to really stay out there and really fight with the big boys. It's not easy to fight with the Dodgers and the Yankees. I think they've done that, and they've really brought the game up. And the popularity of the game is going up, and that it's all because of Blue Jays.
And we need the Expos back.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. That's what I'm hoping. I'm still hoping that they're. I believe in it. I think there's a chance just having them play in the same division, Boston and the Reds, the Yankees, Toronto would be amazing. But I believe in it. We're about to find out in the next couple of years, I think, if they're gonna try to expand or not.
Eric, very self-indulgently, I have to ask you a question about the very famous Barry Bonds at bat. Did you really make a deal with him that you were only allowed one off-speed pitch during it? Because if you did, I got to tell you, the 0-2 breaking ball you threw, I think that was a perfect pitch. I think it was a perfect pitch. It was perfectly located. He just had the best eye in the history of the sport.
It was a little bit off. I'm saying it was a little bit off, but we did. Yeah, we went to Japan and we had the All-Star tour in Japan, playing against all the All-Star players in Japan. So, and he was sitting there and he was talking with his low pitched voice. He's like, "Nobody faces me" or whatever. So I happened to walk behind him. He goes, "You Gagne, you got to face me next time you makes fine you face me, makes fine you see me. So I'll face you, but." If it's an unsafe situation or I have a little bit of wiggle room. So, he's like, you can't throw me your changeup. The deal was, yes, I couldn't throw any changeups. But when I threw a curve, it was supposedly, he said that it was no off speed at all. I thought it was no changeup. So when I threw that curveball, he looked at me and he stared at me. He goes, "What the hell?" So I'm like, "Oh my God." So then we both knew that the deal was on. So I went all fastballs and Paul LaDuca was calling changeups. I kept shaking and he's like, "What are you doing?" So that was not a bet. We can't say it was a bet, but it was a gentleman's agreement that we had. I was going to face him and really go one-on-one, because I think it was a year and a half later. That was unbelievable. It's probably my favorite time on the mound was facing this guy, because it was one of those guys that you'll never see. You got Ohtani's of the world, you got a Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth. These are the guys that you want to measure yourself against. And I was at the top of my career facing him. He beat me twice. He hit 2 home runs out of that, so it was unbelievable.
Bonds, one of the greatest hitters of all time. So when you saw him in the on-deck circle, you knew he was there. Was there anyone else that had that same presence in the on-deck circle where you're like, I don't want to face that guy?
Nobody had a greater impact than Barry Bonds. I don't think I've ever seen that as a hitter. I mean, we talk about Ohtani, how good he is, but I don't think he had the same impact as a hitter. Let's just put it that way. Because, 73 home runs in San Francisco. He walked 200 sometimes that year. He was hitting a home run every 7 at bats. It was unbelievable. And he was scary. He was on top of the plate. Ohtani is amazing, but he wasn't I've never faced him, so I can't really say there'll be an easier out or not, but Barry was very, very scary. Gary Sheffield's another guy that was very scary in the box because he had that waggle. He looked very aggressive in the box, but Barry Bonds is, second to none.
Well, I'll tell you something neither Barry Bonds nor Shohei Ohtani ever did. They never saved 84 games in a row. I'll tell you that much.
That's a good thing. I wish I would have hit 700 home runs, though.
Well, I'll tell you, I think that record's more likely to be broken than yours, to be honest with you, because of the way the game's changed.
Yeah, it's an unbreakable record.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully someone breaks it, because it'll be fun to watch. But I think with the new rule changes, it's going to be a little harder. And, that's a lot of luck. People talk about that record. It's, there's sometimes that I'm like, man, I don't feel good. The bases loaded, no outs, got a double play back at me. There's a lot of weird plays that happened to be able to get to that record. But it was unbelievable. So I'm very, very fortunate that I was able to do that. So hopefully someone breaks it, but I don't know. It'd be interesting.
I had one final question, because I love discovering this from guys who played the game. Every 10, 12-year-old boy that likes baseball had their guy that really no one else latched onto. Did you have that player watching baseball as a kid growing up where you're like, you lived and died with that one player?
Roger Clemens. I think Roger Clemens, the way he pitched, the aggressiveness and own, he always said, he got to own the inside part of the plate. Roger Clemens, probably my favorite pitcher of all time. But when when I was younger, I wanted to be a third baseman. So Tim Wallach was my favorite player for the Expos. I loved him. It was one of my favorite players. I love his swing. I was trying to emulate them at third baseman the way he threw the ball. So Eli was probably one of my favorite player, but this pitcher was definitely Roger Clemens.
Kyle, who was your guy?
From a pitching point of view?
No, from just a player that you're one player.
It kind of changed over different times. I was a huge Eric Davis guy, which is such a random.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I loved Eric Davis. I was a Bonds guy before, like early in his career, throughout his career, just he always looked different to me. On the mound, also Clemens. Who do you got there?
That's my guy, Garth Orge. Speaking of third baseman.
Listen,
Oh
I'm
my
not arguing
God.
with that. That's a great choice. That's a great choice. I like Gary Carter too when I was a really young.
Oh yes. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric, we appreciate this. We're going to let you go enjoy sun. We're going to see it one day again soon.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Have a great Friday.
Take care.